Hello everybody and welcome to my League One playoff predictions. Tomorrow, as this video goes out, is when the playoffs start with Oxford versus Blackpool. There's some very interesting ties in League One. And we're just going to crack straight on into this, looking first at Oxford versus Blackpool. What an interesting game this is going to be, ladies and gentlemen. Blackpool, obviously with the most points, third in the table this season. They've had a very good run towards the back end of this season. But Oxford as well really smashed it on the last day to get themselves in the playoffs. Portsmouth collapsed, Oxford didn't. And I have a feeling that if Portsmouth were in this tie, we'd be looking at quite a different game. There's no doubt that it's going to be close. And both teams have got some fantastic players. Let's look first of all at Blackpool and their key players. Their big strength is their defence, and especially their goalkeeper, Chris Maxwell. They've got the best defence in League One this season, conceding the least amount of goals. Chris Maxwell, I believe, has the most clean sheets in the division. And if you look up top as well, they've got Jerry Yates, who scored 20 goals this season, had a brilliant end to the campaign to propel Blackpool into the playoffs. But Oxford have got some great players as well. You look in defence, they've got Rob Atkinson, who's got in the team of the season for League One this season. And they've got Matty Taylor, who towards the back end of the season as well has scored a lot of goals. I think in the last sort of 5-10 games he's gone from about 12 goals up to 18. He's got as many goals as Josh McGuinness has for the league champions this season. So, as I say, it's going to be an interesting tie. Both teams have some great players and both teams are in relatively decent form as well. Look at Blackpool, they've won all of the last 4. Oxford as well have had a very good end to the season. If I just look at their form, they, as I say, won 4-0 on the last day against Burton. They've won all of their last 3. So it's going to be very, very tight. But I reckon that the team that will just nick this will be Blackpool. I think the power of Jerry Yates up front will be just too much for Oxford to handle. Moving on then to the second game in the playoffs in League One. It is Sunderland versus Lincoln. Sunderland are better away than they are at home, but Lincoln have the best away record in the whole of the division. But at home, they're sitting somewhere like 14th in the home form table for the season just gone. And both teams are in very, very poor form. Sunderland have had a very poor end to the season with just 1 win in their last 5. Lincoln have the same record. And it will all be dependent on which manager can get their team motivated more. You look at players, Sunderland fans do not stop banging on about Aidan McGeady. And the comparison with George Honeyman is void, because look who's won the league. In all seriousness, McGeady has been very effective for Sunderland since he was brought back into the fold by Lee Johnson. And Charlie Wyke up top as well, the league's second highest scorer with 23 goals, I believe it is. He's been formidable this season. And it's under Lee Johnson that Sunderland have really got themselves in gear and have been able to push up the table, challenge for automatics, but then this poor run of form has seen them fall away, which has been sad to see, but it's been great from a Hull City perspective. Away from that, in defence, Sunderland would be hoping to have Dion Sanderson back for the playoffs. I believe he could be back for the final if they make it through, but I doubt he's going to be back for the semis, which is a real shame for Sunderland. However, will it hinder them? We don't know, because Lincoln have got some great players as well. Tom Hopper, experienced at League One level. Brennan Johnson has been fantastic for them this season, as has Morgan Rogers since he's come in. George Grant, even though he's got a ponytail in League One, has been one of the best midfielders in the league this season. Not quite the best, because George Honeyman exists. And at the back as well, they've got Lewis Montsma, who's played really well this season. Brilliant, formidable at set pieces. He can, from corners, he gets himself in there, causes problems when there's a ball crossed in from a corner or a free kick, and Sunderland will have to deal with that threat. But who do I think will win? Both teams in very poor form, but I do think that it will be Sunderland who will go through to the final alongside Blackpool. Moving on then to that final at Wembley. Who do I think will win it? It's going to be a very, very tough contest between Sunderland and Blackpool, which I've predicted. Blackpool in much better form than Sunderland, but Sunderland, they've been to Wembley most recently. Yes, they've had heartbreak there in previous years against Charlton twice, but they won the Papa John's Trophy very recently. As for Blackpool though, Jerry Yates in great form. Best defence in League One. Neil Critchley, who's given them a new lease of life this season since coming in from the Liverpool under-23s side as manager. And it's going to be so tough to call. I think this is going to be such a tight game, and in my head I'm constantly switching from which team I think will win it. But I think the experience of being at Wembley earlier this season, Lee Johnson's managerial quality, he's proved it in the Championship with Bristol City that he can do it. And I think that he will guide Sunderland to a second game at Wembley this season in which the outcome is with a trophy. I think Sunderland will taste victory in the playoffs and will win the playoffs and get promotion to the Championship for next season alongside Hull City and Peterborough. That is it then for this one, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please do leave a like on it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And, maybe you might get a cheeky few watch-alongs for the playoffs in League One. Maybe League Two if I'm feeling up to it, and the Championship as well in the off-season before we head into the Euros and then looking ahead to next season. See you later, everybody. Like and subscribe. Goodbye.